Rikers Island at the center of a lot of discussions at New York City Hall. First, the lawsuit filed to block ICE agents from having a presence at the jail. Then, a tense hearing about the delayed closure of the facility, which prompted protests.
Jail is not a home! 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 Jail is not a home!
The troubled jail complex supposed to be shut down by 2027. Joining us this morning to discuss the lawsuit to block ICE and the future of Rikers Island and more is City Council Speaker Adrienne Adams. So, Speaker Adams, great to have you here.
Thank you for having me back.
So let me talk first and foremost about what exactly is supposed to play out here. The City Council voted to get ICE out of Rikers in 2014, right? Now there's this executive order to reinstate ICE. Do we know how many agents, what this office looks like, and when and what the timeline is?
We know none of those. We have no answers to those questions. What we did was the council actually enacted a lawsuit, and that was to stop the mayor from allowing ICE onto Rikers Island. It is illegal, so we consider his executive order to be illegal. And we know that once Donald Trump's ICE gets onto Rikers Island, all bets are off. We've seen what is going on with ICE across the country. What makes us think that this is going to be any different? It's going to open the floodgates to the Trump administration to do whatever they want to do.
Right. We understand the lawsuit to block the mayor, that was filed yesterday.
Yes.
We just learned that the city's corporation counsel will not be defending the mayor. What do you think this means for him moving forward?
Well, I can't speak for the Corporation Council, but we do know that hopefully the case will be heard by the judge as early as today, and we are seeking a preliminary injunction as well as a TRO, a temporary restraining order, against this illegal executive order.
You know, when you look at it in its totality, yesterday the mayor appeared aside former mayor Bill de Blasio on CNN, and the mayor was asked, former mayor de Blasio was asked about this. And he said, and this was his quote, "If there's an ICE office on Rikers and they abide by our city law, that is something I certainly can live with." Now, he was the person who wanted ICE out of Rikers Island, and now he's saying that. What did you make of that statement and him sitting alongside the mayor, the current mayor?
Well, the reason they were together was to talk about early childhood education and replacing some budget items, and that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. But as far as perhaps agreeing with ICE, I was very dismayed by that and a bit confused, knowing again what the Trump administration is about, knowing that New York City could perhaps be subjected to mass deportations. That whole agenda of Trump's mass deportations is completely perplexing to me.
Can you explain what is actually against, what you believe is against the law here, right? If ICE is on Rikers Island and they're getting rid of somebody who is the worst of the worst, is that what you believe is against the law, or is there something more?
There's something more. We believe that because of the quid pro quo and the appearance that the mayor sitting alongside the border czar, we all saw it on another network where it was pretty much clear cut for us to see the deal that had gone on. You know, you get your case dismissed and we get our ICE office on Rikers Island. That's exactly what happened. So that is the criteria for this lawsuit.
Pivoting a bit, let's talk about the budget. The borough-based jails are costing twice as much as was initially planned for. Moving forward, how are we strategizing for the next budget hearing here?
Yeah, thank you very much. The way that we're looking at this is we are focusing our attention on the Lippman Commission 2.0 report, and we are following those guidelines. We've already put forth some items, budget items and administrative items for the city to follow. What we need, though, Vanessa, we need a willing partner on the other side of City Hall to help us with this. So far, we haven't had that, and quite frankly, we believe it's part of the reason that we are delayed for the closure of Rikers as it stands.
So you don't believe it's going to close by 2027, right?
We already know that.
Yeah,
we already know that
himself,
it's not.
Right.
Correct. And that was laid out in the report as well.
So let me ask you, speaking of the budget, talking about the news of the week with Mayor de Blasio joining Mayor Adams yesterday to lock in this permanent funding for pre-K and 3K programs. The money was cut and then put back in. Now, we've seen this before, where things are cut and they're put back into the budget. You said the money was there. So how did you see this play out? Were you surprised by this? And how does this affect budget negotiations moving forward?
It's not surprising that this happened, that this announcement happened. The City Council is very used to restoring budget items. It's something that we've become used to in, 2-3 years of working with this administration during the budget season. So to see the mayor kind of replenish his own budget cuts was very, very interesting. And they didn't even put back all of it. A matter of fact, most of it was still left out. So there's children with special needs that are still left out, special education children. They're mandated by law to get special services. That was not put back in, among some other things as well, just not replenished with this so-called baselining or restoration.
So are you going to push for that in the budget
Absolutely.
negotiations?
Absolutely. We're going to continue to do that as we always have. Education has always been one of our top priorities to make sure that our children are okay. The City Council will continue to fight for restoration for our children.
Big topic, obviously, the mayor's race. A new poll here has Andrew Cuomo maintaining a pretty strong lead as he secured some pretty big endorsements. So how do you feel moving forward here in light of that?
I feel very good about my campaign. We have a lot of energy around this campaign. The minute I jumped in, the momentum took off. So I feel like I'm in a rocket shooting for the stars right now. I'm having a very, very good time getting to know people, meeting our coalition across all 5 boroughs. Our fundraising is looking good. We've raised more money in 5 days than a lot of the folks in the race have taken to raise, in a year or so time. So we're doing very, very well. I feel great and ready to be the first woman mayor of the city of New York.
Speaker Adams, I do want to ask you, when you look at the totality of the race and you see that poll after poll, Andrew Cuomo is the front runner, right? And you certainly do have some momentum, raising a lot of money. Is it time for the field to dwindle down to a few candidates, to coalesce around a few candidates? How do you see this kind of playing out? How do you see a path to winning?
The path is very clear. First of all, I have a distinction apart from any of the candidates as the one with the experience on the job as we speak. I don't need on-the-job training. I don't need a manual or a handbook. I'm doing the work already. 3 budgets negotiated in the 4th budget negotiating already. So definitely the one with the city, the hands-on city experience that it takes to be the mayor, as well as far as coalescing. We'll see how that turns out. There's still a little time for candidates to think about their races individually and see what they want to do.
All right, and ranked choice it's anybody's.
Ranked choice
changes
anybody,
everything.
Exactly right.
All right, Speaker Adams, great to see you as always. Thank you for coming in, okay?
Thank you.